Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge. If Chelsea win today, they are 2 points behind Liverpool. And if Man City win, they are 6 points behind Liverpool. And yet, I find myself in this incredible position where we've got a really amazing Premier League, where I'm looking at Liverpool and I'm going, you know what? As much as it pains me to say it, what a team Arne Slot has built in such a short period of time. And yet, there is a bit of a vulnerability to their title charge, so to speak, because they didn't play Everton, which has given everybody a chance to close up on them. They drew at Newcastle and they drew against Fulham. So in a way, technically, they've taken, well, not 2 from 9, but there's been 9 points up for grabs. One of the games has been postponed and they've drawn their other 2. So you'd think, well, we'd be talking about Liverpool in the same context as Arsenal, that they're potentially a bit vulnerable. The lead is bottling. Chelsea have got momentum. Man City could get back in the race. And yet, I watched that game yesterday against Fulham, as many of you did as well. And listening to what Anthony Robinson had to say after the game as well from Fulham about you didn't feel like you were playing against 10 men. I was massively frustrated with Fulham. I think at 1-0 up, Andy Robertson gets sent off. You've got to go and get the second goal and then the game's over. And as much as that was frustrating, I sort of put it down to tactics and I felt that Fulham weren't brave enough. When you listen to Anthony Robinson, he was brilliant for Fulham and he's saying they were honours. It wasn't like we were playing against 10 men. I mean, they basically played with 10 men for most of the game in a very competitive Premier League. They came from behind twice. Everything's about winning in the Premier League, but actually that result from Liverpool yesterday was remarkable, incredible, and, you know, we probably need to give Fulham a little bit of credit because they're saying how good Liverpool were, and we need to give Liverpool a huge amount of credit because they quite easily, they've not done it easily, but it's easy to say now in the cold light of day, that point for them is massive because it's not a loss, and it should have been a loss. And although I think Liverpool fans probably would have liked to have won that game, I think you probably wake up today and you go, what an effort from those 10 players. It was incredible to come from behind twice and get a draw in the game. And arguably, in the second half, if anyone was going to win it, it was going to be Liverpool. And then you're looking at Slot again, and he's brilliant in the second half of games, which seems to happen again and again and again. So what does it mean for the title race? Well, I'm very, very happy. I don't want Liverpool to win the league. And, Chelsea are catching up. Maybe not Man City, hopefully, but, there's a bit of a race going on, whereas a couple of weeks ago, I think Liverpool were going to run away from it. But I still think Liverpool are the strongest. I still think they are the favourites. And I still think that they can get better under Slot. What I think we're getting is, because of that red card yesterday, Liverpool dropped 2 points. Because of a mistake at the end at St James's Park, Liverpool dropped 2 points. They should have beat Newcastle, and I think they would have beat Fulham yesterday if they hadn't have had the man sent off. So we're getting a bit of a title race with a team that's very good, dropping points and having a game postponed. So that's why it's congested. I still think Liverpool, though, are ominously dangerous. And the scary thing is that, yeah, they're dropping points and people are looking at that table and going, oh, it's interesting. But there's a context, the fact that they're dropping points, but they're not getting beaten. They dropped 2 points at Newcastle. Well, did they drop 2 points at Newcastle? Newcastle have had some very good results against the big teams at St James's Park. And it was a last-minute equaliser for Newcastle. Yesterday, they played very, very well with 10 men for nearly 90 minutes. So they're not performing badly, and the results that they're getting, it's not going to be denting their confidence potentially, because it's not like what Man City have done, losing games. Their belief will probably grow more from doing that yesterday. I mean, obviously they would want to win, but when you've played that long against a good Fulham side and you've dominated them and you end up not getting beat, there's positives in that, isn't it, if they can keep their mentality going. I mean, look, they have got some games coming up that I think are quite difficult. Tottenham away next week. You never know what's going to happen there. West Ham over Christmas away. You never know what's going to happen there. And then they've got United at Anfield in the first week of January. Look, they could go and win their next 4 in a row, Liverpool. They're a good team. They're a very good team. They're defensively well structured. They play good football. They create chances. They're a good team. I think they're the best team in the league at the moment. And, I think Chelsea have got to beat Brentford today. We want a title race, and maybe Man City come back into it. But, yeah, it pains me to say it, but if it was anybody else yesterday with that Fulham result in the cold light of day waking up today, I do think it was an incredible performance from them. And the fact that Anthony Robinson from Fulham came out and said that sort of makes me concede that I was a bit angry with Fulham, but actually sometimes, even though I don't like them, clearly Liverpool's performance yesterday was very, very impressive. When Fulham players themselves are coming out and going, it wasn't like they had 10 men. They couldn't take advantage of it. We spoke about Arsenal yesterday. I don't really have anything more to say about Arsenal. I've been a big fan of Arteta and what he's done at Arsenal, as much as you can be as an observer of football. I'm not a fan of Arsenal, but I do think that they've just become a bit tired. Like, those results don't make any sense. It still doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sure it doesn't make any sense to Arsenal fans. It doesn't make any sense how you've drawn to Everton. You know, I saw Everton at Old Trafford a couple of weeks ago. They're not very good. That's why they are where they are in the league. But respect to Everton, they get a point, but that shouldn't be happening at the Emirates where Arsenal want to be. You shouldn't be dropping these points. You shouldn't be they've dropped enough of these points this season, and it's going to happen again. I think that I've already said that when I look at Chelsea's next few games, I think that they're going to find some level of consistency and win a lot of games. That's what they're going to do. I look at Arsenal and I sort of go, well, look, next game, Palace away, difficult place to go. Ipswich at home, you'd probably fancy it. Brentford away, difficult place to go. Brighton away, difficult place to go. Arsenal, Spurs after that, Villa after that. They've got. I actually think I was ahead of the game saying Arsenal were out of title race a month ago, but I could see this coming. There would be more points to drop. That Everton, I've probably just upset Arsenal fans even more, because you cannot afford to not beat Everton at home because you were already playing catch up. And you look at your next few games: Palace away, Ipswich at home, Brentford at home. Palace away, Ipswich at home, Brentford away, Brighton away, Spurs at home, Villa at home. I just don't think you're going to take maximum points. And how are you going to close in on people if you don't take maximum points out of those? I think there's more points to be dropped for Arsenal. They're not having a bad season. You will get top four, but I think that the title is just not going to be there for you this year. You're not going to be the team that pushes for the title. And there was an opportunity. Of course there was. And I think the big reason that comes down to it is because of not getting a striker. I think that would have just helped. He would have helped yesterday. It really would. We mustn't not mention Gary O'Neill. I think that would be remiss of us, being as Gary O'Neill has been sacked, and it would be wrong not to talk about it. We've spoken about this on the podcast, which we do every Monday, and we'll be live in the studio tomorrow to do that. We talk about it a lot, and when you look at the bottom of the table, I've got to shout out Will from the podcast. He predicted that Wolves might go down. I thought that was preposterous. I don't know what he's got inside information, but you look at that, they are 4 points adrift. They've just lost to Ipswich. They've just lost to West Ham. You have to go. I like Gary O'Neill. I like what he did at Wolves. I think there's an element of, it's just not gone right for them. They've still played some good football, but they're losing too many games. It's never nice for a manager to lose their job, but that is nailed on. You've got to go. There's no justification to keep a manager. At the end of the day, football is a competitive sport. Manager puts a team in the relegation zone that shouldn't be there. It's nearly Christmas. Manager has to be sacked. I've got nothing more to say about that. I think the problem for Wolves is where you go next. I don't know where they're going to go next. I really don't know. You need somebody to go into that football club and turn a team that's not really a grinding out Everton. You couldn't give Deitch that job even if he was free, because Wolves don't have those types of players. Wolves are a bit of a flair team. They try to play football. So playing football to get out of a relegation zone is problematic. They are 5 points off Leicester. I think that's the team you want to pull into it. I don't see Palace going down. So you look. Obviously, you've got to get ahead of Ipswich first. But I'm looking at who you're going to pull into this. I don't think you're going to pull Everton in, West Ham in, Palace in. So you've got to start. You've got 5 points to make up on Leicester. Where do they go next? Get in the comments. I don't know. Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you smash a like on the video. It's Manchester Derby Day. I'll be on United Stand live for that. Lots to discuss, of course. Get your comments in below. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe. I'll speak to you on the next one.